If gardening ever feels very stressful, usually that means your plan came a little too late. I get a lot of the same questions this time of year, and I'm going to address 5 of the main questions. So that will help you out to get the information early on in the season so the rest of your season is a lot easier. So let's go ahead, let's walk through some of those questions. I want you to get these questions or the answers so later on in the season when you're doing your garden, you're like, I'm writing things down, I'm keeping track of what's going on, and I'm enjoying this. This is great. So when you go into the next season of 2027, it's even better. So that's the thing. I can't stress it enough is like you have to plan out your garden before you get your seed trays out and start putting seeds in each tray with the soil. Don't even do that until you plan. And so question number one is something I get the most. And is it hard to grow your own plants from seeds? So this is definitely the biggest one I get all the time. And because a lot of people know I grow my own plants and I'm always giving plants out all the time anyway. So honestly, I think growing them from seeds, I think it's actually pretty easy. It's not hard. Things get hard when you try to, plan it correctly and you rush it and you just skip too many steps. And it's all about timing. When you do things the right way, you got to kind of slow it down. You sit down, figure it out, you plan it out, and that's when you're going to be more successful. It becomes a lot more manageable because if you just like order a whole bunch of seeds and then you get them in the mail, it gets kind of overwhelming. So that's where a lot of people fail. It's not really that you don't have the skills or the green thumb. It's really just about timing. So question number two is when should I actually start my seeds? And this is the one that everybody gets anxiety over because they get so excited, but they're scared and nervous at the same time. And right here, like I'm in the planning phase. I'm not in the planting phase yet. A lot of people you see online are just throwing their seeds in trays and they're saying plant your seeds and it's January. And unless you're in like zone, like I would say 9 or maybe 8B, then yeah, you could start your seeds. But I'm in zone 7, 7B, and I'm in the planning phase right now. My next phase is going to be the planting phase. So I like to plan things out so I'm more successful because through the years, you really learn that is very important because try taking a road trip without planning out how you're going to get there, or how much clothes you're going to bring, how long you're going to stay. Um, so it's going to be different process through different zones, obviously, but if you plan things now, it gives you control later on. So if you get a solid plan now, later on you have a lot more control and you know what's going on. So if you're planting things out usually way too early, you just get a lot of like problems and they're harder to solve when you should just start off with a bad plan. So that's question number two, which is a very good question. All right. So question number three is what do I need to do before I start? So basically, before you buy anything, once again, you just want to make your plan, which is very important. I've been kind of hammering that topic through this whole video is plan, plan, plan. And you want to first, plan out obviously the different vegetables you want to grow, the different plants, herbs, flowers you want to grow. How many plants do you need? So you kind of want to get an idea of like actually how many plants you want to grow. And say, for example, if you're going to grow marigolds, all right, well, I need about a dozen marigolds. So you kind of get that idea. You want to write it down. These are basically things you do before you actually go out and buy them or grow them. You want to get an idea of like, all right, I could put 4 marigolds in this raised bed. I could put 4 more there and so on and so on. And basically you want to take inventory also and you want to see what supplies that you already have. Maybe you want to replace a couple supplies that broke or went missing. Maybe some new seed trays. Every year I like to upgrade some of my equipment. Like this year I'm getting some new seed trays, what I'm pretty excited about. Do I have labels? Do I need a marker to label? I have a special marker I use. It's a UV marker, so it doesn't fade in the sun. Because the worst is like when you mark out all your different plants and then the sun kind of fades out your marker and you're like, what was that? You can't really read it. So it's not really you need to buy anything yet. You're basically just you're taking the approach that you're kind of sketching out a schematic in a sense of, this is what my garden is going to look like. I could use probably about 4 tomato plants in this raised bed. Like I give you an example. One of my raised beds, I have 4 tomato plants, sun gold cherry. That's basically like the seeds I have here, and super sweet 100s. So, in that one particular raised bed, I'll put 2 of each, and I do a string trellis. So I knew I need a string for each one. I need tomato clips. And then in the front, I like to put a row of like different kinds of flowers, and then maybe a basil or parsley in there with the tomato plants. So I kind of just map it out. So that's kind of like what you need to do before you start, is map things out. Doesn't mean you have to have a perfect picture, just an idea. So that would be like basically, all right, so this is one that I really like. I wish it was number 1, but I have to kind of go in an order that is very important. So this is the question that people always ask me: what are you growing this year? I love that question because it's literally endless of ideas that do I grow things I grew last year, or do I want to try something new? I actually start first with what I'm actually going to eat, what my family likes to eat, what my kids or my wife, what we enjoy the most, even my chickens, what my chickens like to eat. My dog, she likes to have broccoli and different things like that. So she's easy. But that's where I have 2 things. I have my calendar, and I also have a journal, and I just have like a little scratch pad wherever I put it. Oh, here it is. And I'll jot down, what am I going to eat? Then I'll start from there. If I want to start off with tomatoes, I'll say, okay, we eat a lot of salsa. So I'm going to grow things that I can, like a plum tomato. I could grow a couple of heirlooms. It depends on what you want to eat. So that's where I start. I also think about, I look at my journal, and I see what worked out really well last year. And I'm like, do I want to repeat that? And a lot of times I do. I'll add a few new things. And I learned over time from doing this for a while, like, you get past all the nostalgia stuff, all the crazy stuff, and you kind of just grow more simpler, because, before I would have every kind of color: purple, red, green, orange, whatever kind of peppers. And after a while, it's really cool when you get them, but then it's like, why do maybe one year grow yellow and green and red, and then the next year, all right, I'll grow some purple and orange. You don't really need to grow what everybody else is growing, because it's too much trend. People get too trendy about it, and they're like, oh my gosh, this person's growing purple jalapenos, I got to grow them too, or chocolate jalapenos. So I'll be honest with you, when I'm cooking and I'm making salsa or I'm putting jalapenos on my eggs, I don't see a huge difference between them being brown, purple, chocolate, whatever. A jalapeno, when I get a jalapeno, I want a jalapeno. So that's just one big thing. Another thing is, about what am I going to grow? What fits your space the best? Do you have tight places? Do you grow in ground? Do you grow in a raised bed? Are you growing in pots? Do you have only a patio? All these little things you have to ask yourself. Maybe you have a patio. Maybe you're in a condo and you only have a patio area, but you do have a little spot where you could put in maybe like a vining, like a cherry tomato or grape tomato. All right, so that's what you do. You don't want to order corn when you don't have any room to put the corn, because corn requires a lot of space. So a simple garden that kind of just, a simple garden could get very complicated quickly. So if you don't plan it right. So just plant where you're going to eat. Start with there. That's my big. All right. So the final question, question number 5, part of our planning video here is, let's see, I got it right here. Why does planning matter so much? So when I'm talking to people, especially out in public, that, I always tell them, plan your garden out. Don't just go to Home Depot, Lowe's, local nurseries, fill up a whole cart full of stuff and just say, when I get home, I'm going to start, planting stuff everywhere. Because I did that before. I've done that. That's why I'm saying it out of experience. One year I remember I planted like 8 watermelon plants in the area where like my kid's swing set was. You couldn't get to the swing set. It just covered the whole area. The watermelons were really good though, but it's really fun. It is fun to learn those things, to venture. But remember, every season's a little different, depending on the weather and stuff like that. That's why you keep a journal. I actually keep a digital journal. I use an iPad, and I could go back and I could reference some of my past couple of years of like the weather patterns. So that's another good thing why planning matters, because if you plan things out, that means you're writing stuff down. You could also just get an iPad and you could literally record your voice and it writes the text out for you, so it's really easy. So but the thing with planning, why it matters so much, it really just takes that pressure off the season, because when you go into the season, you have a plan, you're like a lot more confident. You're gardening with confidence because you're already set up. You have the plan. You're just going to follow it, and it's okay to adjust the plan as you go, or add little variations and stuff like that. That's what makes gardening so fun. You're like, oh, you know what? I have a little spot over there. Let me throw some purple basil. There you go. You can throw the purple basil in there. So it definitely helps you spend your money intentionally. So you're not basically just, you could waste a lot of money gardening, with just wasteful spending. That's why gardeners, it seems like they're actually very like, your big gardeners are very smart buyers. I mean, they're coming from a wellspring of like knowledge and wisdom, but some of the decisions they make, it's like, wow, how did you know that? It's because they really, they make a decision not emotionally, they make it strategically. So and it really just helps you from like, avoids rushing around like crazy. Nobody likes to rush when you're trying to garden. Garden is supposed to be relaxing, spending good time in the garden, and just, it's like therapeutic. For me, it's therapeutic. I go out there, yeah, it's hard work. You're bending over, you're getting hot, sweaty, you're shoveling, you're digging things out and whatever, but I think it's so therapeutic. And you make sure that everything you do is going to be enjoyable. It's not going to be full of stress. A lot of people that don't plan things out, and this is part of the question, like, why does it matter? They're the ones that are stressed out. They're kind of give up halfway through, especially when the summer heat hits. If they didn't plan things out right, the summer heat hits, are like, I'm not going outside. I can't. And then next, how's your garden going? And they're like, I just let it go, and, it burnt up, it's overwhelmed with weeds and all kinds of stuff. And it's a shame because, that's a lot of food that you could be enjoying. And also, if you do it correctly, you're not stressed out. You're actually just like releasing some stress from like work or life or whatever. So, but you got to realize, like, most of the problems don't start in the garden. They start before the season even begins. And what I mean by that is like, you just go like, all right, yeah, I'm going to start gardening. And it's kind of your attitude. If you have a positive attitude, you're ready to go, you get the energy stored up, you have a plan, you get so motivated when you have a plan. When you're like, you show up somewhere and you have a plan, you're like, yeah, I already got it planned out. We're going to go here, we're going to go there, we're going to go there. And next thing you know, by the time the day's over, you're just like, oh, this is such a good day. I had such a great time. And that's what your season's like. When things are done in order, they just get done easy. So that's why planning really matters so much. I want you to get these questions or the answers, so later on in the season, when you're doing your garden, you're like, I'm writing things down, I'm keeping track of what's going on, and I'm enjoying this. This is great. So when you go into the next season of 2027, it's even better. So that's the thing. I can't stress it enough, is like, you have to plan out your garden before you get your seed trays out and start putting seeds in each tray with the soil. Don't even do that until you. So if you're feeling behind right now, you're actually not. You're in a good spot. So don't worry about it. Get your planner, even if it's just a pad, start writing down some ideas, what you like to eat. Start from there. And then we'll go to the next step. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about what supplies that I think would be really good for you to start off with some seed starting. And also, just to mention it too, some of these different seed companies I use, a lot of people always ask, if I added a bonus question in there, what seed companies or where do you get your seeds? This is kind of like just a bonus question, but I have a couple companies that I do Haas. I love Haas tools. They have very, very good seeds. Baker's Creek, another great company, Baker's Creek, which is also, I think if you look it up, it's rareseeds.com. Fedco is another excellent company. All these companies are excellent. M.I. Gardner, of course, he does an excellent job. Luke over at M.I. Gardner, they have, every seed you could think of as well. And another one that's very, very, very popular is Johnny Seeds. If you go with these guys right here, I'm telling you, you're gonna, there's other seed companies out there. You don't have to stick with just these. But that would be my suggestion, to check out these guys here. If you want to get some nice, good certified seeds, you pretty much get what you pay for. You order Sun Gold Cherry, you're going to get a very good Sun Gold Cherry. Same thing, this Halcinator tomato, excellent. So my name is Jay from The Backyard Gardener. I had a great time making this video for you to serve the community this way, and I'll see you on the next one.